Good evening, everyone. My name is Denise Charon, and I'm the Manager of Membership Services at CVMA. And I'm happy to welcome you all to the kickoff webinar for the CVMA Mentorship Pilot Program. A few housekeeping notes. If you can have your camera on and your microphone muted during the presentation, that would be greatly appreciated. In the last 10 minutes, we'll have a Q&A, therefore please save your questions until that point. Last year, CVMA embarked on significantly enhancing our mentorship program, and after careful consideration and review, we found the leading edge for veterinarians program provided by Lincoln Institute and veterinary business who are based in Australia. This is important because evidence shows that mentorship fosters a career fulfillment, sustainability, enhanced well-being, and a sense of belonging to a team with a positive workplace culture, all of which contributes to better retention and helps address the workforce shortage gap. Invitations were sent to CVMA members to join this important pilot program, and we received 91 registrations, of which we selected 56 participants to receive this sponsored enrollment by CVMA. So congratulations to you all. You are the first pilot cohort to participate in this program in Canada. I'll just hand over for a brief message from Mr. Joel Neuheimer, CVMA's Chief Operating Officer, and then he'll say a few words, and then we'll continue.
Thanks, Denise. Hello, everybody, and welcome. We're so excited that you've put your hand up to volunteer to help pilot this program. Last year, the council challenged the staff to see what was available to take our mentorship offering to a completely different level. There was a working group struck. Dr. Kyle was with us tonight, was part of it. Denise Charon was part of it. Dr. Maggie Brown-Burry, who's going to be helping pilot this project with you. She's on our council and our executive. She was part of it. Dr. Trevor Lawson was part of it. And we looked at a number of different options. And here's where we landed, where we are this evening with Lincoln Institute. So we are very excited about what they're going to be offering you during this pilot. And we need your engagement. We need your engagement to generate metrics to let us know whether or not this works for you. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your engagement. And I wish you a really good pilot. Thanks, Denise.
Thank you, Joel. Also, our Director of Wellness and DEI is here, Dr. Kathy Kyle, and she would like to say a few important words as well.
Hi, everyone. Just a quick sound check. Thumbs up if you can hear me. Awesome. Oh, thanks, folks. So as Denise said, I'm Dr. Kathy Kyle, CVMA Director of Wellness, DEI, and Accessibility, and I'm very honored to live, work, and play on the traditional and unceded territory of the Secwepemc Nation in beautiful northern Okanagan, British Columbia. I am so glad you are here at the inaugural launch of the Leading Edge Mentorship Program. This is a big first for Canada, and you're a big part of it. Whether you're a recent graduate just finding your footing or a mid-career veterinarian, perhaps transitioning through a job, or maybe somewhere in between, you belong right here. You're part of a really important and diverse group of veterinarians and student veterinarians from every province across Canada. You are rural and urban, you work with different types of species, in fact, probably all kinds of species of animals, and you represent different backgrounds, genders, abilities, ethnicities, and languages. And that's something really to celebrate. And your unique perspective matters, your lived experience matters, and you're welcome here in this space exactly as you are. The mentorship program is built to be practical, supportive, and real. Over 1,700 veterinarians have completed these modules and surveys before you, and because of them and because of the Lincoln Institute and the research that the program creator has done, we know that the mentorship experience can increase resilience, well-being, reduce stress, and improve overall feelings of professional self-worth and fulfillment. Many participants have reported better able to handle tough conversations with both clients and colleagues, draw better boundaries between work and home, and feel more confidence in the work that they do, both in practice and also in living. And yes, the weekly modules are important. I'll be doing them with you. They're not meant to overwhelm us. They are between 12 and 25 minutes in length, and we can either watch them and or listen to them. So I encourage you to listen while you're going for a walk, maybe doing dishes. Maybe you'll do what I'll do, and I'll be listening to them when I'm out at the barn, mucking out my horse's stall. Just let these modules ride alongside you in your week to week. And don't skip the surveys. They're more than a checkbox. They're really important to gather the research and inform us on how we can improve this mentorship going forward for future cohorts. And most of all, I'm really, really excited to see how this experience pans out for you. I do hope you'll feel supported. I really appreciate that Lincoln Institute has developed an online community so that we can reach out and chat with each other. I think many of us in this space can sometimes feel a silent sense of isolation, and I don't want that to be at all the situation here in the mentorship program. So if you get to the point where you do want to reach out, you can always reach out to me for emotional support. So I'll be putting my name, my email, and my phone number both in the chat and also on the online community. And do consider the CVMA Together All peer program. It's anonymous, it's digital, it's available 24/7, 365. There is clinical oversight by a licensed mental health professional. And on the other end of your digital post will be someone in the closed veterinary community who gets you, who is experiencing something similar to what you're going through, whether you do that at 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. So I'll quickly, after I finish my hellos, I'll put the link to register in both the chat and on our online community too. And then one final note is, can we all just put our hands together, maybe even silently, and applaud Denise Charon for her incredible dedication and effort in getting this to life. I walked alongside her in this, and it's no small feat to organize something like this, especially with care and thoughtfulness and in such a short time frame. Denise, holy smokes, you worked very closely with the Lincoln Institute and our veterinary translator to make sure everything's ready to go in both official languages in time. So Denise's commitment speaks volumes on how much this important and all of you matter to us at the CVMA. So welcome all. Have an awesome mentorship experience.
Thank you, Kathy. That was wonderful. So the leading edge for veterinarians in French, that is l'avant-garde pour les vétérinaires, is a race-approved 12-month program consisting of short and easy weekly modules, as Kathy was mentioning. We appreciate your time and willingness to be part of this pilot program, and it's important to keep up the pace of the program. Your participation is what will make this program successful and give us crucial Canadian metrics to then be able to provide this program to the broader CVMA membership. There will also be 6 deep dive webinars every 2 months, yet to be scheduled and coming soon. Today's webinar will be in English only, mais pour les francophones, si vous avez des questions sur la présentation que vous vous sentez plus à l'aise pour les poser en français, envoyez-les à moi dans le chat et j'essaierai de les traduire, ou je pourrai vous donner la réponse par courriel plus tard si nécessaire. You should all have received an email with your VetHub account and a link to the community space. I understand that a few of you are having some technical issues logging into your account, and Lincoln Institute is working on this and should be corrected quickly, if not already. So without further ado, let's get started. I would like to welcome Dr. Michael Powell, Director at Lincoln Institute of Veterinary Business, to present himself and begin the presentation.
Thanks so much, Denise. Kathy, Joel, what a great introduction. Hello, everybody. A very warm welcome from me. My name's Dr. Michael Powell. I'm a veterinarian and one of the directors at Lincoln Institute. And I just wanted to say how great it is, firstly, to see all your faces. It's so wonderful to have you joining us. I really appreciate you giving up part of your evening to be here. But also how wonderful it is to have a cohort of veterinary professionals from all walks of veterinary practice and experience. across Canada, all together for the very first time, and what we hope is going to be such a helpful kickstart to the resiliency project that we're about to embark on together. I'm just going to share my screen here, because what I'd like to do firstly is just one final huge thanks to the CVMA, who are collaborating with us in this important initiative, and the commitment of this, we'll call it a global coalition. As you know, we're down under in another hemisphere entirely, but we're really excited to be working with the CVMA to be focusing on this amazing profession of ours and giving back to veterinarians such as yourselves. And we feel super fortunate to be working with CVMA in this because we know that we share such a similar sense of purpose. And after, gosh, it must be nearly a year of our working group planning, toiling together, it is such a pleasure to be getting things underway with you. So let's do that. And actually, in fact, I do have one more piece of gratitude I might do before we actually do that. And that is to all of you for giving up your precious personal time to engage in this project, and also for being here this evening. And we really, really hope to honour that time with a paradigm-changing professional development experience for you. That's certainly our commitment to you. So let's talk a little bit about what you should expect over the next 12 months, because I can imagine right now you're thinking, wow, you know, what's this program going to be all about and what should I expect? And besides the program, as Denise rightly pointed out, we're going to be engaging in some fairly important industry research. And as you are completing your data submissions, such as the pre-training survey that you've already completed, but also subsequent surveys and questionnaires, please know that you are going to be making a contribution through your anonymous aggregated submissions to a deeper mission of creating a measurable change for the better for veterinarians, just like you, not just across Canada, but around the world, quite literally. So thank you. As you should be aware by now, this project will involve your exposure to a virtual mentorship training program aimed at positively and proactively impacting things like your resilience, effectiveness, and career satisfaction. And the program's name, as Denise correctly stated, is Leading Edge for Veterinarians. I have too much respect for the beautiful French language to attempt a bilingual introduction, so thank goodness you did that for me, Denise. Leading Edge for Veterinarians will run for the entire 12 months of the project. And if all has gone to plan, you should have your first modules opened up and available on the learning platform. So I'd be interested to know if that is actually the case. We understand some of you are still trying to get in, but if you could just type a yes or no into the chat box, if you've been able to successfully access the learning platform and your first modules. And I might get Denise just to keep a track of that. And that might help us just get a sense of how well we're doing helping those final people get on board. And certainly, and while we do that, it's certainly my honour this evening to share with you who we are, who is Lincoln Institute of Veterinary Business, who I am, and why we do what we do, and what to expect of this non-clinical development program that I've just described. In particular, what I want to talk you through is the rationale of the actual training, the impacts you might experience, as well as to give you some tips on how to maximise those impacts. So as I mentioned, Lincoln Institute of Veterinary Business feels truly privileged to support this initiative, particularly as it's a cause that's so aligned with our deeper sense of purpose. We're an international team comprising largely of current and former veterinary practitioners and professionals, and each and every one of us shares a passion to give back to this profession that has given us so much and has such a significance as a result. Our mission at Lincoln is to safeguard the welfare of animals by empowering the extraordinary professionals who care for them, that's you, through education and support so that they can experience more well-being and fulfillment in the important work they do. And for me, this project holds extra special significance given that about 5 years into veterinary practice for me, I experienced the challenge of burnout, and disillusion with my career choice. And I actually took an extended sabbatical, which involved 6 months living and working on the ski fields of Alberta and later touring through some really remote parts of Canada, particularly the West Coast. And not only did I fall in love with this amazing country of yours and its people, but my time adventuring in North America helped me fall back in love with my profession again once more, reigniting my career and ultimately leading me to the business ownership that I experienced for about a decade, and then the important work that I focus on full-time now at Lincoln. So I'm very grateful for the chance to go full circle and give back to my Canadian colleagues. And I'm really respectful of the trust that you've placed in us and the CVMA in allowing us to work with you on making a meaningful difference. So now that you know a little bit about us and where our focus lies and what our motivations are, I thought it might be the perfect time to do a slightly deeper dive on the Leading Edge program, where it came from, why it was created, a little bit of program design explanation, and also how we maximize its efficacy. And also, I'll share with you a fascinating insight into the global impact it's demonstrated to date. From there, I want to hand over to our amazing client experience manager, Amanda Goff. She's recorded a video for me because she couldn't be here in person, who intends to step you through how to log into your education portal, how to navigate it and access the modules. And then, time permitting, we hope to wrap up with some Q&A where you can ask us anything. Hopefully, we can help answer any outstanding questions for you. So, firstly, let's understand a little bit more about you before we do that, because I've shared all this detail about us, and the CVMA have also provided you some background on why we're here this evening. What I'd love to understand about you is where your areas are for growth that you see, particularly non-clinically, because that's really what we're focused on with this project. What do you perceive as your key barriers, if any, to experiencing more fulfillment in practice? So I'm going to need your help here. I'm hoping, because most of us don't spend much time without a device fairly close to us, I'm hoping you've got a secondary device and you can scan the QR code on the screen. And that's going to take you through to some polling software, which is run by Menti. So I'll give you a second to do that. Now, if you don't have a secondary device handy, what you can actually do is just open another browser window and type in the URL there that you can see on the bottom of the slide, menti.com, and then you can enter the code, and that'll take you into the poll as well. This first poll is going to be a word cloud. And the question I have for you is, what do you think are the key non-clinical skills, these non-technical competencies? What are the gaps that you might have with those that, if remedied, might actually contribute to more professional and workplace satisfaction for you? So I'll give you a second to get in there, and I'll just continue to explain what I'm talking about. What you can actually do is enter as many times as you like. We want to stick with about 1 or 2 words, if you can limit it to that, not a big sentence. And it could be things like communication with clients, relationships with team, leadership, managing time. Maybe it's decision-making, conflict management, self-care, being more assertive. Just type into the click there, look for the prompt, and then type 1 or 2 words in there, and you can enter a number of times. Don't forget to actually submit, press the submit button. Because as I said, I don't know where you're at with your non-technical competencies, so help me out here by getting as many up as we can, and we'll make a decent cloud. Give you a second, and what I might actually do is just change my share here. We'll see what results we have. Denise, maybe you can just let me know that you can see that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, fantastic. I'm just going to make it a little bigger so I can actually see it. Just grab a quick drink of water while we wait for that to load. Okay. Very interesting. You can see communication sitting in the #1 spot at the moment. Time management, isn't that huge? Don't we so frequently spend all day, every day, feeling like we're chasing our tail? We don't have enough time to get to all the things that we need to in the day and to manage our cases to our satisfaction. Conflict management, right? That's a big one. And we certainly see this internationally as well as a very common challenge for veterinarians. Both conflict in our team, we're in this high stress pressure cooker environment, conflicts bound to arise, but we also see it with clients, don't we? Stress management, great that you're recognizing that is something that you need to work on, and that's absolutely going to be one of the keys to a long, fulfilling career in veterinary practice and the sustainability of the profession. We need to get better at managing our stress. This is an innately stressful profession. It's not going to change. Work-life balance, decision-making, fantastic. Giving bad news, really good point. Resiliency, brilliant. So many great ones there. Well, thank you. That gives us a really good sense of exactly where you're at and what are the key competencies that competency gaps that you would like to close. I'll just stop that share for a minute. We won't go on to the next poll just yet. Hopefully you can see that slide deck again, Denise. So thank you for that. It really does give me a really clear understanding. And I've got some exciting news for you, actually. Based on all those responses that we saw, it's exciting, the program that you're about to embark on, because it was designed to bridge just about every gap that I read there. That's for certain. So you're definitely in the right pilot, that's for sure. But beyond that, it's been scientifically designed to bridge the gap between tertiary qualifications and truly mastering the art of veterinary practice. And I've got to say, this gap that your word cloud spoke to so effectively is nothing new. The importance of enhancing non-clinical competencies was identified more than 2 decades ago as one of the potential solutions to the sustainable future for the industry. And it doesn't just relate to client interactions and therefore patient outcomes, as some of this data really zeroed in on. It was, in fact, identified as a key determinant in professional satisfaction, fulfillment, and career longevity. And I've got to say, we've done a lot of research in this space as well. And our data and the data of recent national and international research into attrition indicates that very little has changed in 20 years, despite the increasing focus in this area from many veterinary schools. So what we might do just once more is jump into a poll again. It's the same QR code as before, so hopefully you're still logged in there with your device, because I need your help again. Our next poll is actually relating to the toll that veterinary practice can take on our resilience and mental well-being, another big focus of this particular pilot. It's going to be a word cloud again. And what I'd like you to share with me is, what are the key stresses for you in clinical practice? Once again, 1 or 2 words that speak to those stressors that you're aware of. Is it time pressure? I suspect that'll be one based on our last cloud. Is it managing expectations? Is it relationships with your team? Difficult clients, maybe, stressful cases, hard conversations, financial limitations, long hours, you get it. We're really looking for those stresses that you're aware of. And I've got some inkling of your pain points, but I don't want to assume anything here on your behalf. So educate me, and let's get these up in a word cloud. Feel free, once again, to enter as many as you like. Just limit it to no more than 3 words at a time. I'll just swap my share over here. Let's have a look at what you've come up with. Excuse me while I advance this. Don't forget to advance your slide. So you just have to click that advance button. And I'll give you a second to respond. Denise, might get you to double check. Everybody can see this next slide. Great. Awesome. I'll give you a moment. I'll get another drink of water.
Yeah, starting to come in.
Okay. So we've got people understandably recognizing that time management is one of their challenges. I'm excited for you, because we've got at least 3 modules directly addressing time management and dozens of modules that relate to how you can leverage yourself better in practice. Finances, my goodness, what a strong stressor. In a lot of our research, it featured at the top or very close to the top of one of the key stresses, this moral and ethical stress that we encounter each and every day. having financial discussions, and that contrast between the care that we want to provide and what the owner can afford. Team conflict, it's big. It really is. And like I said, we're in a bit of a perfect storm most days in veterinary practice for conflict to be arising. Difficult conversations. Absolutely. And they can be conversations with our team as well as clients. Workload, kind of intertwined with time management, isn't it? And we've got a lot of modules dedicated to how we can better navigate the number of pulls on our time every day. Emotional manipulation, we've got some great modules dedicated to helping you overcome emotional manipulation. We've got a fantastic deep dive on assertiveness that I really hope you can all tune into, because it's really going to be quite helpful, not just addressing things like emotional manipulation. Angry clients is sort of tied in there. Financial pressures, emotional regulation, fantastic. Great that you identify that as a stressor. Delegating effectively, fantastic. Well, thank you for that. That gives us a really good sense of what the stresses are that you can identify and work from day to day. So it's really helpful for me. And I'll just switch my share over once more. So well done. I also have exciting news for you, because I know for a fact this program was designed to address just about every single pain point I saw documented there and more, so that you can be more resilient to the rigors that are synonymous with veterinary practice. They're not going anywhere. And this will be regardless of your experience level as well. And what I would say is Leading Edge for Veterinarians was produced in direct response to the veterinary workforce crisis. And as you know already, it's virtually delivered on-demand training via video modules designed to ostensibly bridge that long recognized gap between tertiary education and truly mastering the art of veterinary practice, practicing the way you'd always envisaged. And this is a race and multi-accredited CE program, and it's evidence-based, and it's been formed by our own pioneering research into workplace satisfaction and well-being, as well as structured around several contemporary non-technical competency frameworks, such as the non-clinical components of the CBVE, created by AVMC framework, as well as another very well-regarded non-technical competency framework being Vet Set to Go. Better still, and quite uniquely, it's further refined by extensive first-hand clinical experience at the coalface in first opinion practice, which I think is something that's quite unique. Since its release in early 2019, it's now empowered over 1,700 veterinarians in 27 countries to enjoy longer, more fulfilling careers. One of the things that makes Leading Edge for Veterinarians special is it's effectively virtual mentoring delivered to you by presenters who are seasoned veterinarians themselves, not paid actors. Each and every one of these presenters has successfully applied the program's principles to achieve career success and fulfillment. And they were motivated to participate by a desire to deliver that experience to other practitioners just like yourselves. So this is really unique to have 7 mentors who have walked in your shoes, not only sharing tips and strategies tried and tested in the field, but also sharing real life examples. Just makes the content so much more engaging and relatable. Now, to enhance the impact, the program structure has also been crafted around contemporary adult learning principles designed to support flexibility, increase workplace satisfaction, and enhance professional effectiveness. So the program that we've created for you, slightly bespoke, it includes a total of 52 12 to 25-minute lessons, which are opened up weekly for you on the learning platform across a 12-month period, 1 a week. And this delivery pace is quite deliberate, as we know that finding 12 to 25 minutes a week is actually a manageable commitment for even typically busy veterinary professionals, which I'm sure all of you are. But I've also got 3 hot tips for you here to make the most of program design and its potential impact. The first tip I've got for you, and I'd like you to write this down because I think these will be really helpful for you, is create a plan to prioritize your development. Determine right now where your non-negotiable time is going to be each week. as some of those great ideas that Kathy suggested, is it going to be on the weekends in your lunch break? Is it at the gym, or is it even listening on your commute, or a combination of the above? Make sure you're putting your well-being and career satisfaction first, something that we are not very great at, and keep up with the program. We really encourage you to keep pace and try not to fall behind. And the CVMA and Lincoln will be tracking your progress. We may reach out to you if you appear to be having trouble keeping up. The second tip I've got for you relates to program design once again. The weekly delivery is also quite deliberate for another reason. We based it around the 10-20-70 model for contemporary adult learning. And what that model tells us is as little as 10% of the total potential impact that you can experience comes from the formal learning itself. But we really go beyond that as veterinary professionals, right? We want you to take this further and maximize that impact. And speaking to that model, where as much as 70% of additional potential impact can come from is by consolidating the concepts and techniques that you're going to learn and applying them on the job. So the week between the modules is for you to do exactly that. Make sure you've got a journal or a diary as you're watching these modules. Take notes and document how you might actually implement what you've learned in your working week. It's really doable. Now, on to the third tip. I'm guessing some of you that are not too exhausted from a hard day's work might have been left wondering where the other 20% of potential learning impact comes from. Well, that's actually from learning, social learning and reflection. So we've got a couple of ways that we can support this impact for you between roughly every 2 months, as Denise explained. So we'll be getting together 6 times to engage in a 60-minute deep dive webinar. Now, these are live and interactive sessions where you'll take a deeper look into certain topics and create opportunities for you to reflect and share your perspectives and experiences with your peers. We wrap each webinar up as well with a Q&A where you can ask us anything. So, in a live environment, we can try to answer any burning questions that you might have. These webinars aren't normally recorded. So we really encourage you to try to be there. But if you can't make it, you're on call or something's come up, or you may miss out on some great bonus content, we actually provide suggested reflection activities for you in each module. It's sitting there as a lesson feature. So you can actually go to these suggested reflections and do this work independently, or perhaps you could work through this with a colleague at work. But either way, we really encourage you to tap into that extra 20% through peer-to-peer reflection. And don't forget, if you want to maximize the total potential impact of this program that it can have on you, be sure to prioritize all 3 facets of this 10-20-70 model that's available to you. Now, I mentioned earlier the Leading Edge for Vets has a significant track record. What I'd like to do now is just flesh out that a little bit more by sharing with you some interesting data from the program's use in the field to date. What I'm hoping to do here is provide you with an insight to the types of impacts this program could have for you. The first section of research data comes from our groundbreaking veterinary sustainability pilot performed in conjunction with Royal Canin. And this was a pretty ambitious study which explored the impact of 12 months of training on 127 practicing veterinarians spanning 25 countries and 6 continents. You'll be pleased to know that we didn't overlook Canada in that project as well. So we had a decent cohort from Canada there as well that engaged in that particular research project. And similar to our pilot research that we're going to be undertaking with you, program impact was gauged both quantitatively by means of pre-training, midpoint, and post-training surveys, as well as qualitatively through a questionnaire post-completion, a longitudinal check-in. We had an international data analysis firm called Ipsos process that data and assess it for signs of statistically significant improvements. The entire project took place between April 2021 and August 2022, and I'm pleased to share that despite this training occurring across what would arguably be the worst time in history of the profession to engage in a research project into veterinary well-being, being the so-called pandemic boom, which was a very difficult time for practitioners in most developed countries. Ipsos still identified a positive impact over a range of measures. In fact, they identified statistically significant improvements across 33 of 44 statements. And of the most significant improvements in abilities and positive sentiments for this global cohort of veterinarians, ranging from recent graduates through to veterinarians with 10 plus years of experience. Yes, there is hope for any old timers like me watching this. Those impacts included things like better understanding why clients say no and having strategies to deal with them, strategies to better negotiate pay rises and work conditions, strategies to better manage time efficiently and avoid overwhelm, to better handle difficult conversations with clients and colleagues alike, to get more yeses to their ethical treatment plans. How about this one? Strategies to positively influence your chance of getting home on time. I'd be happy to get at home at all. I'm guessing some of you are actually saying. So hopefully you're going to experience some of these impacts as well. And the most significant reductions in skills deficiencies and negative sentiments included less frustration from inability to provide appropriate care due to costs, reduction in the likelihood of feeling a lower sense of self-worth when clients say no to our recommendations or worse, less concern of how a pet owner will react when we present them with an expensive estimate or bill, more comfort discussing money, less worry about burdening them with expense, handling angry and emotional clients with more ease, and improved abilities in helping clients proceed with treatment plans, i.e. better patient outcomes. We in fact identified statistically significant improvements across 7 of 8 key professional satisfaction themes: patient advocacy success, influential communication skills, positive work relationships, efficiency and work-life balance, yes, even in the pandemic boom, self-worth and mindset, remuneration capacity, and leadership of team. The qualitative measures were interesting too. They were very encouraging, and they included, I won't go through all of them with you, 97% of respondents were feeling their professional self-worth had improved. 90% felt time management and productivity had improved. 93% felt patient and client outcomes had been enhanced. And a similar pattern in wellbeing measures, including 100% feeling self-confidence had been positively impacted. 93% experiencing increased resilience to stresses, such an important key to longer, healthier careers. And 80% somehow at that crazy time experienced a stress reduction. Most excitingly, we saw some enhancements in professional fulfillment and career sustainability, with 100% feeling the training had positively impacted their professional fulfillment. The same again, 100% believing the training would facilitate a longer, happier career for them in practice. So in essence, these are just some of the measures of success we might see for each and every one of you, we hope, over the next 12 months. Now, the most important part of any journey is often described as being your first step. And here to ensure that you have a smooth start, Denise, out of interest, how many yeses and nos did we get if you had to create a rough ratio at the start to that question of the learning management platform? Oh, you're muted, Denise.
Oh, she's coming off mute. The good news, Michael, is people are helping each other solve the problem already. So we're making progress already.
Genius.
With the great teamwork you're seeing.
Oh, this is fantastic. Great collaboration.
Yes,
Well, look,
and for those who haven't yet seen that in the chat, is if you do a reset of the password, that should probably help resolve it. If not, just reach out and we'll try and figure it out. So
fantastic. Thank you, CVMA, and those of you that figured that out and shared that information. We may watch this video still, because what Amanda does here not only talks you through how to log in, but she also teaches you how to navigate the various elements in a typical lesson. And I think that's really important. So I will press play. Denise, just pull me up if the sound isn't sharing. I did select share sound, but I can start again and reshare if that's an issue. Okay. Won't take long. This is about 6 minutes.
Hello, my name is Amanda Goff. I am the Client Experience Manager and your leading edge concierge for the Lincoln Institute of Veterinary Business. And I wanted to congratulate you on taking part in this very important pilot. We are delighted to be helping you enhance your career well-being with the Leading Edge program. Now, what I want to do today is take you through the steps to get you started with the program. So I will share my screen. Now, when we first enroll you to the program, you will receive this Welcome to Vet Hub email. Now, Vet Hub is the home and platform for your Leading Edge program. And this email contains your personal link here to set your password. It's important to note that your username is your email address as shown here on your email. This email also contains a link here, which you can save and use for the future to take you straight to the Vet Hub platform. But let's get ourselves started. First of all, we need to set our password. So I'll click on this link here, take me to the password screen, and then I can choose my password. Next, I hit sign in, and this will take me straight to my student dashboard. Now, on the student dashboard, you can see here, this is where you will find your Leading Edge course. Now, to start the course, all you need to do is hover over the tile and hit play. That will take us straight into the course content. Now you can see here down the left-hand side of the screen is a menu showing all of the upcoming course modules in the program. Now your course modules will be drip-fed every 7 days, so a new module every week, giving you time to work through the content. Now I'm going to take us straight to the first module, which is the importance of valuing yourself. So if I click on the title there, that will open up the content for me. Now all of the modules are set out in the same way. And if I click here on this first section, this is the overview and training outcomes for this week's module. Won't make you read it now, as you will get to see this very soon. Now, once we have read through that content, what you must do is hit complete and continue, located at the bottom of the screen here. This will take you into the next lesson in the module. Now, the next lesson is the main part of the content, which is your Leading Edge training video for this week. All of the videos vary from between 15 to 30 minutes in length. Important that you do watch these through in their entirety, but I won't make you watch it now, as you're going to get to see this very, very soon. Now I'll hit complete and continue and take us on to the next slide. Now you will note as I hit complete and continue, these little ticks actually appear in these circles. This shows where I have worked through the content. Now, this next section here, this is the module transcript. It's a full transcript of the video that we would have just watched. So in case you would like to read through that content. So I'm not going to do that now, as we're going to get to see it soon. So I'll hit complete and continue and take us on to the next slide, which is the key takeaways. So with each of the modules, there is a document that you can download and print if you would like with your key takeaways. All we do is click on that link and it takes me straight in. Now I'll take us back to the program. So I'll hit complete and continue here. Now, the next slide is your suggested reflection activity. Now we have these with each week's content because we want you to be able to deepen your learning, and in doing so, we've got a suggested reflection activity for you to work through. Now, the reflection activity for Module 1, as we can see, are 3 questions that we want you to take some time to reflect on the key points and answer these questions to deepen your understanding. You can journal these if you are taking notes. Very good idea to do so. Now, the next lesson, if I hit complete and continue, is our test. So there is a test with each of the course modules, but these will count towards your race accredited CE points, which are awarded at the completion of the 12-month training and the final research submission. So it is very important to make sure you complete these. There are 5 questions with each of the modules. Now, it is important to note that there is a pass rate. You must get 80% to pass the quiz, but don't worry, if you do happen to not pass it on your first attempt, you can retake it as many times as you need to. Now, all of the quiz questions are set out in the same way. They are multiple choice, true, false. All we do is we read through the question and we select the answer that we think is correct by clicking, and then I can hit confirm. It will then tell me if I've got that answer correct or not. Yay! And then I can click next on to the next question. So that is your Leading Edge course module. Now you can see here, I can click ahead, but if I do click ahead, you can see that we've got these little stop signs. That's because that content hasn't become available yet. Like I said, it is drip fed on a weekly basis. But if I want to see when it's coming, I can click on any of the lessons and it will show me when that content will become available to me, which is a week from today, as I was enrolled into the program today. Now, if you want to go back to your student dashboard, all you do is you'll see here on the top left of the screen, go to dashboard, and then that will take you back to your student dashboard. From here, if you want to, you can sign out, you can jump back into your program, or you can, again, hit play here, and that will take you back to your Leading Edge program and where you left off. So that is the Leading Edge program. Now, I do want to share my email address with you, as if you have any questions or any queries or need any help either accessing the program, or if for any reason you didn't receive your welcome email, you are welcome to reach out to me directly. My email address, as I'll bring that onto the screen now, is amanda.goff@lincolninstitute.com.au. Congratulations again on taking part in the Leading Edge program. I really do hope that you find the content valuable. Thank you.
Okay. Well, that's it from me, folks. And as I wrote in the chat, now's a really great chance to ask any questions. Denise, have any come through that we need to address? And while we address those, feel free to type any more into the chat box.
One of them is, if we miss a week, can we complete a module a week later?
Yes, 100%. So what I would say to you is, while we really encourage you to try not to get behind and try to make this a non-negotiable part of your working week, stuff will happen. Yeah. Stuff happens all the time, and sometimes there's so much stuff that it does get in the way. So yes, rest assured, you'll have access to that entire library as it builds. The only catch is when it comes towards the end, if you have too many outstanding, there is a risk that you won't get those completed before access to the learning platform closes at the 12-month mark. So try your very best to keep up, but if you have a bad week, you can absolutely go back and do 2 modules in a row, or you could do a bit of a binge and do 3 or 4. Entirely up to you.
That's great. I do have another question that came in. Someone's having a hard time enrolling. It says on the dashboard, it states they are not enrolled in any courses yet.
That's interesting. So what I would say to you is, let me see if I can pause that slide on the moment where Amanda shared her address, and I would encourage you to write this address down. Excuse me while I just share that again. Is that you? I'm guessing that was Jolene. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Let me just put this back up on the screen again. Jolene, feel free to contact Amanda directly. And she should be able to help you navigate. That's unusual. I don't know what's going on there. Some little technical hitch, but not the typical technical hitch that we would see. So please feel free to reach out directly to Amanda Goff, and she'll get that sorted very, very quickly for you.
I just want to emphasize, just so people are aware and remember, that anytime you're communicating with anyone from Lincoln Institute, they may be in Australia. They may also be in other parts of the world, but just keep that in mind that you may not get a response, an immediate response. Just give it a bit of time.
Thanks, Denise.
Are there any other questions for Mick or anyone else?
There are a few more in the chat.
Okay, let me look.
So one is, as veterinary students, what is our responsibility?
I would say just going through the program as best as you can. There may be some questions that aren't necessarily related to you yet, but answer them to the best of your ability. Would that make sense, Mick?
Look, I think so. I think so. It depends on where you're at in your journey, in your degree. But certainly, if things like clinical rounds have begun for you and you're starting to get a sense of what goes on in the consulting room and what goes on in the treatment room, in the hospital, for those of you in those small animal clinical rounds at the very least, I suppose, farm visits would be equally applicable. Yes, try to think in terms of those challenges that you've seen already, and at the very least, perhaps answer in the context of whether or not you feel equipped to navigate those situations. And there's a little commentary box associated with every survey question. So perhaps, if you feel like you need to provide some context, do so there.
Great. Any other questions? I don't see any hands up. Maybe some closing remarks. Joel, did you have any insights you'd like to share?
No, just really excited to see this off the ground and launching, and great opening session with Michael tonight, and really appreciated Kathy's context at the start as well. So, I think one of my key takeaways from the session tonight, apart from how exciting the content's going to be, given what Michael saw in his word clouds, is if you're having a challenge with something, just reach out. You got lots of people to reach out to there at Lincoln Institute, and you've also got people to reach out to at CVMA. So if you have any difficulties along the way, just reach out, and we'll find the right person to help you. But other than that, just really excited to see everybody out here. Denise, thanks for putting it together.
Great, thank you. Any final remarks? If not, I'll conclude the evening. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining, and I am sure I'll be in touch soon. I am also following the program, so you will see some comments from me in the community space. If you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me directly. And if you have any questions later on as well, that's not a problem to respond at a later date. I hope you all have a great evening.
Take care, everyone.
Bye, folks.
Bye.
Great to see you.